So, welcome. In this video we're going to be deviating away from the standard 3D modeling tutorials, and we're going to be talking about Nvidia stock and why it's a good stock to buy right now. To those that don't know, Nvidia today is trading at $900 a share. Also, to those that don't know, if you buy shares, you can buy fractional shares from platforms such as Trading 212. So bear that in mind. It's not about the amount that the stock is worth, it's more about the percentage gains in the future. So if the stock gains by 20%, whatever you've invested, even if you buy a fractional share, that will have risen by 20%. So that's just a quick tip for those of you beginners. Now, the reason why I think Nvidia's stock is a good buy right now, even though it's $1,000 today and it was $200 or $100 1 year ago at the beginning of 2023, is because their sales are going to go up higher. A lot of people seem to think that Nvidia is something that it's too late to buy in now because of how much it's gained, but I would say that there's a lot more to gain, and we need to now look at the probability of that. Nvidia just the other day released the Blackwell platform and the new chip that goes with that. I believe it's called the H100 chip. No, I don't know. Whatever it's called. The project is called Blackwell, and the chip is a part of that. That new chip is 30 times faster for processing AI, meaning that all of these AI services that are absolutely going to upscale and ramp up their services are going to need to use those chips, and the data centers that host these AI softwares are going to buy those chips immediately as soon as possible and just fill data centers up so that those AI service providers can use them. To those that don't know, when you run an AI service, you're not actually processing the AI prompts on your computers, and neither is your client. So those of you using AI, you're not actually processing it on your computer. You're running it on a browser, which means that when you type in your prompt, you're sending it over to the data center that is hosting the AI software. That data center is running the AI service and then sending you back the output. You're just getting the text at the end, meaning that all of the power is done over there, because you and me don't have the powerful computer to process that kind of information, because AI requires a lot of power. So this is the way they get around it. This is how they get it to customers without the customer needing to buy a super powerful $50,000 computer. So with that in mind, these data centers are going to be buying these chips, and Nvidia has just released it and they've already got tons of orders. India has ordered some and they're going to get them in October, and it's currently March. So that shows you how much of a backlog of orders there are, meaning that Nvidia's revenue is going to go up. Now their revenue report, their next one, is going to be out on the 22nd of May this year. That will they will announce their second quarter earnings, and so we already know that the backlog of orders is extremely high, and Nvidia historically has fulfilled these orders very easily. So we basically know that their revenue is going to be very, very good. And what happens when these earnings reports come out is the stock price goes up, because more and more people want to buy the stock. So the strategy for now is put a lot of money into Nvidia. You could by the way, this doesn't constitute financial advice, it's purely for educational purposes only, so I'll say that for legal reasons. But you could probably do what I'm doing, which is take a lot of risk with money. By that, what I mean is money like you've got lying around, and store it or buy some stock with that, or in Nvidia. And the moment the 22nd of May comes up and they release their earnings report or their revenue report, the stock price will go up and the value of your money will go up. So those of you that are concerned about how long this would be, this is the moment where you've got like a date in mind, an approximate date. You wouldn't want to sell it on that day. You'd want to wait a few days as well, maybe, because eventually you'd see more people buying it in the days after that follow, raising the stock price. You'd want to see around that time what to do and decide at that time what to do. But for now, note that sales are going to be very, very good, and we can even look at historical, not so far in history. Early this year, Nvidia released their revenue numbers for the final quarter 2023, and they surpassed expectations. So they were predicting 22 billion in sales and revenue, but they actually got 24 billion, and because of that, the stock price went from $600 to $900. So what do you think that's going to mean for the next positive revenue report? And we know that it's quite likely that the next revenue report will be extremely positive. So it's all looking very, very good for Nvidia, and this would be my stock tip of the day, the week, the month, probably the year. Buy Nvidia and take some risk with it, because the actual risk of losing money with them is extremely low, and they definitely have a lot of ground to make up. Now, one last thing I'll mention. Nvidia just had a conference where they announced this chip that I spoke about, the Blackwell chip. And in general, the stock price hasn't really changed. And the reason why is because they announced all the news that they were going to announce at the conference before the conference. And so much attention was paid to Nvidia that everyone that was going to buy bought when the news came out before the conference. That's why the price didn't actually change too much when the conference actually happened. So feel free to like, share and subscribe to this channel and share the video and all that stuff. And I'll see you on the next one, which will probably be a tutorial in 3D modeling or something, but we shall see. Laters.